All right, we live, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let the people fill in. Just always give everybody some time to come in. We live right now. Y'all already see I got Silence peeking in from the back. I'm gonna close them out momentarily as I speak to the people, and then I'm gonna bring them in. So just so y'all know, everything going on for the most part, I'm gonna keep this going as far as the weekly streams. At the moment, it's going to be pushed as a Sunday thing. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm not supposed to be live. I'm live right now. I'm not supposed to be live. Let me see if I'm already live. I already got 5 people in. Let me see if Silas, you want to run this live or you want me to do a playback? I made a mistake and hit the live button, so I got 5 people in the building already. I don't mind closing it out, and then they could be previewed later, or we could just keep running it as it is right now.
It's whatever you want to do.
All right. I mean, I think we already got it running. Let's just go ahead and run it. You know what I mean? Usually, what I like to do is I like to run this and make sure it's aired on Sundays, just so y'all know it's going to be a usual broadcast that comes in on Sunday. But for the simple fact that I hit the button, it ends up running right now. Let's just go ahead and run it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover what we usually do. All right, it's a mind science thing. We're going to close away from all the stuff going on out there in the world and, what's going to fill up your mind with some other stuff that might not draw you closer to the direction you want to go in. We're going to give you what you need to take you to that next step. All right. Now, when we, you know what I need to do too? My title probably looks confusing too. So my title probably doesn't make much sense. Man, I'm going to just run it. Ain't no thing. Yo, so check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into how thoughts become things. All right. And as we go through this, what we basically going to do is we just going to slowly dive into different details. We're going to talk from different avenues, different directions on kind of getting you to where you might want to be in terms of goals and situations and things like that. So to jump the stream off, all right, number one, let me go ahead and bring Silence in the building. Y'all know what it is. We got Silence in the building. So I'm going to jump it off like this. Let me see. Oh, there you go. So I could change the title right here. So the title is going to be we're going to call it, hold on, How Thoughts Become Things. Now this is momentarily just going to be the title, and then we'll might change it. We might hold it down for what it is. Let's go ahead and save the changes. All right, cool. Brett says, we appreciate your hard work, buddy. Keep it up. Mr. Jake the Great says, yo, we running this live. We running it live. We ready to jump it off. So where we actually stand for the most part is we talking about how thoughts become things. All right, very simple, very easy, simple idea to get you to jump everything off. I need everybody to stop right now, pause what you're doing, and I need you to look around the room. As you look around the room, I need you to find one object. I don't care what it is. I need you to find one object that did not originally come from the mind. All right, it did not start from the mind first. So let's look around. I mean, I got the cell phone that came from the mind, right? We're talking about how thoughts become things. So what I'm trying to get you to see, this is the little, my son got the little Nintendo Switch joint, got the cartridges, got the Nintendo Switch. This is all originally coming from the mind. Everything you see, everything you touch, regardless of what it is, the fork, the shirt that I'm wearing, the hat that I'm rocking, all these things that you've seen in the physical originally started, the cup that I'm drinking from originally started from the mind. So I want you to kind of gauge and start to understand that if that's where I'm trying to kind of get you to kind of the area that I want you to think on, you could start to now see that what I'm saying is making sense. Why? Because, yeah, I want you to find something that's an object that's around you that did not originally come from the mind. Anything you want. The chair, the table, all of these end up being ideas, okay? The ideas are actually what you're spotting out there. And when you think about thoughts becoming things, they originally start as ideas and end up becoming something, a fork. This, if you want to get detailed, we could go into the physical things like airplanes, cars, and that's what I'm talking about. Drumming up ideas and things and actions that aren't seen on a natural day-to-day basis, and you actually drumming that up into the physical. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Solids come in. That's the little step that we like to do, like a little gateway into the segment. I'm gonna let Solids come in and kind of tell you more about how thoughts become things. But that's just a little bit of insight that I want all y'all to think about. I'm sure some of y'all still looking around the room trying to find something, but I want you to know you're not gonna find nothing. All right. Everything that you see and observing, know and understand that those were originally ideas in someone's head and they slowly became something physical. They materialized it. And in order to make that happen and understand the science of it, is that it originally starts in the mind and it ends up in the physical, and it's done through a certain way. So Silence, if you could walk them through your version. I like to give them that little rundown on looking around the room and trying to find something so they can actually gauge and understand how thoughts are becoming things. As they look around their room, everything they look at is actually someone's thought, someone's idea that they brought into play. And that's exactly what they're observing all around them. So if you could dive a little bit more into detail and help, build a better understanding, that'll definitely help them know kind of the direction that we're about to go in.
Okay. All right. I'll put it like this. When you talk about a room, let's say your house, for example, when you take your house and you look at all the different things that are inside of your house, and that's what's called your habitat. It also can be called your habitat. And the word habit is right there within that word habitat. And that's because you're constantly thinking and feeling everything that's in your habitat. It came from habit, and that's what we talked about as far as repetition. Affecting the subconscious mind and kind of having a strong effect on the subconscious mind, and that's kind of why we see the things that are in our house. If you look at someone's house or where they live, you can see what they think about the most. You can see what affects them the most. And that just comes from that whole idea of repetition and habits forming who we are. And when that thought gets to the point of where it becomes a thing, it most times comes from that thought reaching down to the subconscious part of a person's mind. And so at that point, they go against everything that the conscious mind can process. They go towards defying the laws of gravity, if you want to say that. What happens is a lot of times when things are created, they come from a place where people are defying the physical laws that they may come across. Even when you talk about the airplane defying that law of gravity. So everything that we come across, whether or not we make that a part of our world on a constant basis, that's going to determine what happens in our lives and what happens and what carries out through our experience and what we create, what becomes things. So no idea goes wasted. No idea, goes in the trash can. Everything is of use. So even when you start paying close attention to the things that you start to think about, you can kind of find a connection between other things that you've thought about or people around you that have thought about. It's always some kind of connection between those, and you'll see that constantly is a part of who you are. That constantly starts creating who you are.
So with that breakdown, what I'm going to do, so now that I want to kind of push in the direction of a little bit of kind of what I talked to you about over the phone. And the direction I want to push in is I just gave the rundown and the display of how thoughts become things in regards to objects, that everything you're seeing around you was originally someone's idea in mind. Now, the same rule applies to the actions that take place in your life. Do you have, in a very simple breakdown, so let me give you the outlook on how this kind of plays out. So being that this is, people might define like law of attraction or manifestation or all these different things, what it ends up being is this. You have, in order to understand how things physically come into play, all right, this is where it gets good. I wake up, let's say I'm a stick up kid, right? I like to just rob kids, whatever block they on, I'm gonna pull up. Now, as I wake up every day and I think that, keep those thoughts on my mind, that's what the energy I'm gonna project and also bring to me. Now, on the other end of the side of things, you have somebody that actually wakes up that feels like, yeah, life is good, this, that, and the third, but they notice in certain places, in certain areas, that they feel and believe they might get robbed. All right. Now, when the two individuals encounter, that's when it all goes down. You have one individual who was originally thinking and performing a robbery, and you have another individual, totally different scheme of things, different life. They happen to meet up with that person, but they believe at some point in time that they could be robbed, depending on the place and situation at the end, and then it happens. That's where, when, and how the energy will actually connect, and why and how everything kind of happens, because you have the manifestation drummed up from one end and it drummed up from another end, and the energies actually meet, where one person says, I'm out to go rob people, and some person believing that they could get robbed. That's the type of energy that meets. So if you have that type of thing dwelling in your head, that's why and where you meet that individual in the middle, and then those things happen to you. But if you had a cleaner inside, as far as what's going on into your mind, that will clean up what occurs outside. So it's important that you control what goes in, because that'll impact what you actually see. Silence, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, everything is just all that stuff is going to affect your experience. I mean, everything, everyone's experience is going to be based on what they believe is going to happen to them. I mean, and that's, we could never, we won't see that until it actually happens. But you can remember times where, just like I explained, I think on the last show, where, that quarterback is receiving that high, that Super Bowl trophy, and he's just, I mean, he's telling you that he believed. You know what I mean? You can always see where that belief becomes an experience at some point in time. And if someone ends up not getting what it is that they believe that they wanted, or they should have gotten, that it's most likely a case where they just didn't believe enough, or they were maybe they that belief was being affected by another belief that was in the subconscious mind. Because the
Mm-hmm.
subconscious mind, the conscious mind has no way of finding out everything that's in the subconscious mind. So that's one thing we have to really take into account when thinking about mind science altogether, is that, subconscious mind could also be looked at as God, because what it is it controls the how and the when. And a lot of man's problems come from trying to figure out how and when he's going to do what he wants to do, and or what he has to do. And if people focused on just, or use the conscious mind to decide what they want, and just focus on just the want, then the how and when will reveal themselves. And that's the thing that people kind of, maybe there's a misconception. Maybe I take it a different way, as far as, God. You never know when God is gonna come. When He's gonna appear, or come into your life. And that could be looked at as God coming into your life, is the point that you find out how something happened and when it happens. That's the point that God is in full existence.
So I'm gonna take this to a different, I'm gonna take it in a different direction. Um, at this point, you know what I mean? We 15 minutes in, we try to help y'all, learn and understand how, thoughts become things, And the reason why, I got to understand, I mean, some of y'all walk with me through this whole journey and understand that everything leads to the next. So the reason why I'm trying to get y'all to understand, where I started the lesson out and I basically explained to y'all how all the objects and things that you observe visually is originally coming from the mind. I'm also getting you to understand that the physical things that are happening to you is originally coming from the mind. So can y'all please, y'all ready for it? Y'all ready for it? Can y'all please tell me why y'all are out there battling the jab? I heard my man Bryson, you know what I'm saying? I rock with him all day. But I saw his video, not even no butts, scratch the butt out of it. But the joint, he dropped like an hour-long stream on the black pill. If you watch his stream, you know what the black pill is. It's the jab. And the direction that I'm trying to get y'all to go in is I'm trying to teach y'all to understand that if you can utilize your mind and take yourself in any direction that you want to go in based on what you think, why would any of that stuff apply to you? I'm making you a stronger person. Understand that. You don't sit around and cry and whimper about who's gonna give me this and what's coming my way and who's in the presidency, who's in the president box. None of that don't matter if you're focusing on what you could project in your mind. Let's not play games. Let's not sit around and act all weak and defeated and how much this is coming at us and we can't do this, we can't do that. You can't do anything that your mind won't bring you to the degree of doing. That's as far as it goes. It goes as far as your mind will take it. And when you're dealing with the subconscious mind, you're dealing with the imagination. If you're dealing with the imagination, that gives you the ability to project anything that you want. What the idea is to do is to determine the end result, and everything that happens in between is what you wait around for. That's the Father's business. That's God's work that goes on in between. That end result is something that you always will see. It will always be true. That's what you originally thought about in the beginning. But you wait, just like getting on that boat and sailing to another country. All that time in between while you're on those waters, you don't see the island that you're bound to be at. What you end up noticing is that as you sail those waters, you run across different things, different situations. But at the end of the day, the end result that you see pulling up to that country was the end result that you originally projected in your mind. All the in between and the how is will all be questionable. The point that I'm trying to get y'all to understand is there's a lot of people sitting around and crying about things that they have full control over. If you have full control over it, why are you sitting around crying about it? I'm not taking shots. I'm just trying to help people not be defeated, not feel defeated, not act defeated. How you sitting around talking about something that's going to come your way when you have full control of sending it in any direction? You know what I mean? So think about how much the mind power could actually take control over what's going on in your life and what you don't want to see. Because if you don't want to see it, don't put it in your mind, don't project it. Create the opposite thought. Create what you want to see. See past what you don't want to see and see what you want to see. And that's how you slowly get closer to your goal. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. All right, those just coming in the building. Let's get it. We talking about the jab, the black pill, all of that, this, that, and the third. There's a lot of people sitting around crying about they don't want to get it. It's a lot of hoorah right now that I'm seeing on it. If you have full control over your mind and taking a full responsibility and making things go in any direction that you want, what is the reason for sitting around and waiting? And for whoever is saying that what I'm talking about, there's any doubt on it, then you doubting God. If God is number one and he has that power to take you to any level you want, right? He got the utmost power. That's what everybody sees, knows, and understands. If he has that much power, why isn't everybody relying on him in the situation of getting out of whatever they're going through? We trying to dodge the jab. How are we going to dodge it? We just, because I could inform you about what it all has to do with. The jab got a whole bunch of stuff in it, right? Whole bunch of ingredients, a whole bunch of happy ingredients that's going to make you feel, look, and do all types of different things. But at the same time, how does it all work out if you manifest a destiny where it doesn't even come your way? It doesn't come your way. Don't ask me how. Don't say, oh, how you going to make that happen? Don't ask that. That's the Father's business. You don't get into that. You sit back and you manifest your end result and you wait. You get on that boat and you just sail. Sit yourself down and just relax. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm trying to get y'all to understand that the ideas that are coming into your mind is what's making and projecting the outcome that you're actually seeing. So don't sit around and complain when something comes your way, because that's what you've projected. Don't play stupid. You know what I'm saying? When they pull up on your doorstep, no, what's this doing here? Why is this happening to me? That's happening to you because clearly whatever you've put into your mind is what the result that you're actually seeing. If you take into consideration what I'm saying and work at it for a little bit, you'll slowly see that the world is not what everybody else is making it to be. It's what you make it to be. All right? Don't tell me that the world's a dangerous place, bro. Every time I pull up, ain't nothing going on. My doors are unlocked, locked, whatever I want it to be, and that's based on what I'm projecting in my mind. People still live in the hood, right? And nothing happens to them on a day-to-day basis. Why is that? They, you know what I'm saying? They out there. Nothing don't happen to them. Crib don't get robbed. They don't get, stick up kids don't bother them. Nobody don't. It just don't come their way. You got to ask yourself, what is the reason for that? Clearly it's got to be something that certain people that are picked and, just because it happened to you. I gave y'all the example about that individual who lives very righteous and holy, but still finds himself running into a lot of issues. There's other people in the same matter, same situation that lives a completely unholy life and still breaks off with a lot of the benefits that holy person wants. But the holy person finds to be very weird that they can't seem to get their hands on that certain something, and what it ends up being is, like I explained before, feeling gets the blessing. Those who feel what they want are those who get what they want. Silence, you want to add anything to Dorothy Perez? How you doing? You want to add anything to it? Just overall, just what I'm getting at right now is I don't care what you rep. I don't care if you on the red side. I don't care if you on the blue side. I don't do no side. I do the side that builds you and gets you to a better understanding and a better place for yourself. Don't worry about anybody else because no other man controls your destiny. But Silence, if you want to get in, I just hear a lot of crying about things that are going on in the world at this point, and I'm not fully understanding if these people have the full power and understanding that they have the power. They got God, right? We all got God. I got God. You got God. If you all got that much God power, let's go ahead and put it to use. And whatever comes our way, we shouldn't sit around and make videos on it and cry and you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third. We should actually utilize what is a actual absolute force of power that makes sense and actually takes us to the next level. It's every bomb that I'm dropping right now, bro. It is what it is. Silence, yo, let them know if you got anything for them. I'm just, hey, if y'all want to call it shots fired, whatever it is. I'm just saying, what is the reason for everybody sitting around crying about this, that, and the third in regards to what people say? Because y'all know people is level one on the mind and what that all means. Talking about people doesn't get you anywhere. Why? Because talking about people gets you to a point where you can't really dictate what is. Why? Because you're not them. That's all speculation. Regardless of the circumstances and the physical things that you could bring to the equation, you can never go into that person's mind and be them. So you can't actually dictate and say what they are. Only that person could say what they are. Let's get into number two, events. Number two, what level two minds? They talk about events, things that are going to happen, things that lead to money, things that lead to success. That's the type of person I like to deal with. They cool. People that talk about other people, nah, bro. Nah. What are we talking about another man for, about something that I could never prove? I'm not him, so what am I wasting my time for? We could talk about the level two mind, events. I like events. You know what I'm saying? Because that takes me to another level. What's coming up? What shows are coming? What could I actually take and build to something else? Level three, after events, ideas, the creative mind, those who are actually coming up with the ideas. I'm looking for those channels. Who's talking about ideas? Not about what this man said. Not about what this man said. I'm bringing y'all ideas. I'm bringing y'all ways to better yourself and learn how to X those things out. Now, mind you, I'm not sitting back in those seats where I'm talking about, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not religious and biblical to that degree. It's to the degree for you to just hold it in your heart and just utilize it there and also trigger your mind and get it to start doing the work. I'm not asking you to go out and start hitting up people's cribs with the Bible, this, that, and the third, talking about come on board. Nah, bro. I'm just getting y'all to understand that there's a way to think. There's a way to go about handling things in life that I'm learning and understanding, that I have my nose dipped in a lot of people's business. A lot of people's business. talking about what they talked about, which is all their issues. All I'm concerned with is who I am. I got a full-time job telling myself who I am and what I want to become. Why would I waste my time talking about other people? Let's get it. Yo, Silence, you got anything for them?
Nah, I think really I think really the point or the main sum of what it is that you're trying to get at will be the fact that you don't want to discuss what the world's view is of an issue, and you think it would benefit you more, or you believe it would benefit you more, to think of issues that may be going on in your life that you have control over. And I mean, that's perfectly understood. That's perfectly understood, and that's the that's really what we it now. This is all if you want to go in the direction of, you know, controlling how you feel, controlling what you think, and not allowing the world to program that for you. That's what this is all about. This isn't really about, you know, someone wanting to do this and, you know, being mad that other people are not doing it, or wanting people to do something that they're doing. You know, as many influencers would come off as. This is something to allow you to do whatever it is that you would want to do, but do it with enough happiness and positivity in your heart to allow you to feel good and get as much of get as much out of your life as possible. And, you know, rather than trying to control another person's life or speak on another person's life, because we have to understand the power of our words, you know. And if we knew and paid attention to the power of our words, we would use it for the positivity in our own lives. So maybe maybe talking about worldly issues and things like that could be settled and handled in a more in a maybe a more beneficial way. And I say beneficial, I use the word beneficial a little loosely because it's subject to however you think. Now I say that in a way where someone is allowed to think whatever it is that they want to think, whatever it is that they want to think. And I think maybe it'll benefit because, oh man, I totally lost my train of thought. Um, but yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I understand it to be the main benefit of what it is that you can do for yourself, you know, and not really focusing on worldly issues, and maybe getting back to what I was saying as far as the benefit. It's it's what would allow this thing to change, what would allow this issue to become better. It's the belief. It's not really us complaining about it. It's not really us saying what we think is wrong about it. It's actually us focusing on it being better. So I think that if
There
we
you
were to
go. There you
focus,
go. There
if
you
we
go.
were to,
Okay.
yeah, I lost my train of thought for a
If I,
second, but
no,
you know,
if I could jump in, I got exactly what you're saying. So let me break it down to y'all like this. So what we're dealing with is mind science. All right. So what that deals with is awareness and consciousness. So what you end up finding out is what you are aware and conscious of is what you end up seeing the result of. So if you're aware and conscious of how bad something is, how bad it's going to treat you, how much you don't want it, what you're coming to find out is your focus is actually on that in itself. Instead of focusing on what's bad, you want to project that same focus into what's good and what you actually want to see. That's why the idea is to see past the bad things you don't want to see and see into the good things that you want. So that at the end of the day ends up being maybe a better breakdown so y'all understand, you know, kind of what he was trying to explain. Um, I do want to piggyback off of it in terms of I think a lot of this applies to many things that are going on politically, right? Even though we might try to turn our back on things that are happening, we have to realize and understand that things are going on in politics that actually work within the mind science that people, it's just kind of crazy. I mean, I saw a comment the other day I did a stream on Hood Conservatives channel, and I saw a comment that somebody left, and they talked about something that they did with the whole Joe Biden thing and, you know, coming into office and stuff like that. And one of the things that they did, I actually turned around and I laughed at, but it ended up being something that I learned down the line that happened to tie directly into mind science. And what that was actually is the fact that they were calling him president before he was actually president. Now, that's something as a conservative, I remember being in that seat where I was laughing at that. In my mind, that was the dumbest thing that I could ever think of. But the one thing that they did do an experiment on is they took a bunch of kids, right? And they laid out report cards with blank grades on it. And they told those kids to write in the grades that they wanted. They said, yo, I mean, you didn't even go through the school year yet. First day of school, given the report cards, they say, yo, write in the grades that you want to see. You know, so the kids was like, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to put the hundo on all of them. What they come to find out after following through with the research and scientific study is those who projected those higher grades and higher amounts, whatever those numbers may have been, that's the area and direction that they achieved. That's what they achieved, is what they projected originally. Okay, so that's the idea that you want to keep in mind, is that the original projection that you put into your mind is only the destiny, but the in-between is something that you can never really decipher. And like I said, you don't worry with the how, because that's considered to be God's business. So when they started calling him president, I said, man, what the hell is that? Like, what you talking about? This man, president? You know what I'm saying? Remember the Facebook joint? They had him listed on Facebook and all of that as X, Y, and Z. And you like, well, damn, I mean, they jumping the gun like extra soon. Well, if you know and understand when it comes down to mind science, that's the first step in you getting what you want. It's projecting everything in your mind first. It's actually calling yourself that. That's why when you actually walk around on a day-to-day basis, you're never to say, I don't have that much money. You're never to say, I'm good, I'm decent. Nah, the idea is I am rich, regardless of what you have sitting in the bank account, regardless of what you have sitting in your pocketbook. The idea at the end of the day is I am rich, because whatever you call yourself is what you become. Whatever I tell myself I am is what I become, regardless of what I have sitting in the bank, because at the end of the day, the job is not my source of income. Who told you the job was my source of income? Who told you Uncle Sam was my source of income? Bro, my source of income is the mind. The mind is the source of income. And whatever I project here is what is projected and materialized. So as long as I can take control in the right places, it helps me take myself to the next point. Now that I got y'all in the building, let's talk about how to take full control of anything. And if you ever tell me that you're going to go about moving a car by getting on the outside and tugging at the wheels, I'm gonna call you crazy. I'm gonna always tell you, if you ever want to move a car in any particular direction, it's best that you get in the driver's seat from the inside and go ahead and hit that steering wheel, start whipping it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Silence, you want to add anything?
No, you can go. You can go ahead. You got it.
So for the most part, what I just want y'all to see and understand, that this is not shots. Whomever this may apply to, whomever feels offense to it, they have a lot of, I say a lot of awakening. They have a rude awakening for them, because what they're going to understand is that they're only fighting with themselves. You know what I mean? Everything that I'm saying is only to help build you and help you become a better self. So if I'm out here and I'm giving you some bombs in terms of jewels and things that you could take and learn from, if you're taking it in a negative direction, you also got to realize the idea to mind science is not to let anything in the physical affect you. All right. So if you out here and you feeling like the things that I'm telling you is hurting you, and you don't want to think for yourself, you want to place the blame elsewhere, then so be it. But at the end of the day, the idea in mind is that, like I said, boiling all the way down to the jab and anything else in regards to it. people out here screaming and crying about things that are coming their way, but that's only coming their way because that's what they projected in their mind. If it hits you, then that's what it is. If it doesn't hit you, that's where you at. Your belief is telling you that's how far you're gonna go. And if you keep it going, that's where you'll end up. You know what I mean? Wherever your belief takes you. That's the determining factor. That gives you the direction. You know what I mean? As far as for the most part, like I said, the idea is to understand when you're dealing with the mind science, things on the physical is only to be looked at as a neutral thing. There's a positive and a negative to it. So anytime I see this is, I mean, like I said, it's more shots. Y'all could call it shots, but this is not shots intended to be out there to tear anybody down. It's actually to build somebody up. So there's a lot of people out there. I'm not gonna call no names, but there's a lot of people that if they see liberals or they see things that liberals do, things that liberals are up to, they get really bent out of shape. And they explain that in their videos. Many outlets, whether it be a conservative outlet talking about liberals, liberal outlet talking about conservatives, the point being made is people are seeing other people and their reactions and they're getting really bent out of shape. When you have no actual control over that, and the idea is for you to take control over your own life and not really worry with what they have going on. Because again, you should never be concerned with another man's opinion, but just be concerned with more of what you think about yourself. So if you ever encounter, let's say, I mean, I use a liberal because some people do feel like that, and I use conservative because some people do feel like that. They see one and it bends them out of shape. They were having a great day and they see this thing, whether it be a MAGA hat, somebody wearing a MAGA shirt, something to that nature, a Trump shirt, they see something and it's an object and it bends them out of shape. It could be a person, it could be a hat they wearing and it bends them out of shape. The idea behind mind science is that's when you are falling victim to an idol god. That thing is controlling you. When you got a street, you don't go down. Everybody know a street. You like, yo, I don't go down that street because that street, like, I be seeing a lot of accidents down that street. The street's controlling you. It's all in your mind because other people drive down the same street. They don't think like that, and nothing happens to them. But then you have the other person that drives down the street that constantly has worked on their mind that, yo, man, anytime I go down that street, I see an accident, I see something of that nature, what'll end up happening and what that'll actually become to that person is it's ruling them. It has power over them. It has control. It makes them go the other way. The fact that they think that street is dangerous, it makes them go the other way. But it's only because they think it's dangerous. It's not because it is.
And for the most part, it really takes their belief out away from the positive that exists. And you know, that's really where the disconnect happens, is where you use circumstantial evidence or things that are in the physical to determine how much good is going to come to you.
Mm-hmm. So the idea at the end of the day is the physical things that you see in, I mean, the physical things such as like people, things, and circumstances is nothing that you want to really play into what your mind can control. Okay. So if your mind can control anything you want, nothing in the physical should take control over that. Remember, you control things, things don't control you. You control things, things don't control you. If that road is scary and you don't want to drive down it, don't let that thing control you. You control it. How do you control it in that situation? Tell yourself what you are. Tell yourself what I am. I am strong. I am courageous. I am brave. And I'll ride down that street with God right by my side. Just like that. Once you utilize
Also tell yourself that that street is safe.
What you said?
You can also tell yourself that that street is safe.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to tell yourself. Well, that's how high your belief is. That's what you will tell yourself, and that's the outcome that you would see. You would ride right down that street, and you would be 100% safe. And that's the idea that's actually coming into mind. And we started out with how thoughts become things, and it's slowly shifting into now what y'all are actually seeing as these things that are out there in the physical. It's not to be controlled by you. Now, how does money control people? Money takes control over people because some people are given so much money that it starts to possess them. They don't possess it. Once that money starts taking control over them, you start dealing with like the new person. So now that thing in the physical is taking over them. You never let something from the outside take over you. Just like that liberal walking down the street, he don't do nothing to me. I don't care what he has, the F Trump shirt on, the F this, F that, FCG, none of that don't move me at the end of the day. I'm gonna walk with my head tall because no other man's opinion matters about me. The only thing that matters is what I feel about myself. I don't care what kind of shirt you got on. I don't care how many other people are all in with you and think the same thing. I'm even where I'm at right now because I'm strongly behind what I'm saying and know and understand that this is the truth. This is the absolute truth, that it is the one and all be all that makes sense. That what I'm telling you right now could easily be applied. And once it's applied, you'll find that it works. You can't find anything else out there that actually works in the same way that this does, with the same amount on percentage of actually it working. It's 100%, bro. As long as the belief is there, it's 100%. There's no other thing in this world that's guaranteed to the degree that this law is guaranteed. And that's the I am. That's the law of consciousness. All right. That's the law of mind. That's basically giving you the understanding that you have the control to get anywhere where you want to be. These things that are out here, it's all in your mind, bro. I get it all the time with my son. My son is really at a struggle with having things control his mind, not letting his mind control things. When you lose that toy or you lose that certain something, yeah, it's harder for him because he is a kid. I'm an adult. I can take it and tackle it a little differently because I have the mind power. But for him, it is a struggle to see certain things happen to him and he not know that he has the mind power to drum up what's necessary to get it back or make it better. One of the two things is always an option that he always has. And I'm constantly trying to drill it in his mind that he is in full control. And the more doubt he puts on himself, the more but he uses. I can't go there, but I can't do this, but all that cuz, hey, I can't do this cuz I gotta go here. I can't do this cuz I gotta go here. All these are obstacles that a lot of people like to throw in that a lot of times it makes so much sense. It's okay to be said. Not that I'm declaring that it's okay to be said. It's actually that it makes so much sense to that person. It's okay to be said. Like that person that says, "Oh, I'll never get $1 million. I mean, I'm not that rich. It takes somebody rich to get rich." Well, that person's okay with saying that because it does make a lot of sense. Like, nah, you're not going to get $1 million. You probably. But if you tell yourself that you're not getting $1 million, then you won't get it, because whatever you tell yourself you are is the direction that you become, is the direction that you're going. So it's simple. It works like a revolving door. It's like a circle. You're going around and around. But at the end of the day, somebody that's holding down $100, I explained this in one of my other videos, that $100 is different to every man that falls on. Every doorstep that $100 falls on, given to for free, given to for a little bit of work. $100 means something different to every man. Even the actual value of money in itself is only what it is because of belief. Silence, you can explain that more with the value of money and how the belief is what is why y'all sitting back counting it and why y'all spending it, why it's making up the world.
I mean, for the most part, real quick, I'll sum it up like this. It's just that, you know, belief is really what's driving a lot of what's going on and what we think is what is. When you look at a dollar, you see a 1 on the dollar bill, and we don't believe that it's a dollar because of the 1 that's on it. We believe that it has the value that it has because other people believe that it has the value of $1. You know, our currency was created off of a belief system. So, you know, everything in the value of things is really based on the power of belief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like that example. We were chopping it up on the phone, and he even threw me an example with the jeans, right? if anybody were to give you like the newest designer jeans and there'd be no brand on it, just no brand at all, y'all know how y'all would take it. Y'all know how y'all would take it. Like, damn, this is the one you giving me? All right, cool. This is what I'll wear to school, whatever. But y'all know if I slide y'all the same pair of jeans with the brand name on it, because that brand name is there, that brand name works on your mind. All right. Once it works on your mind, you start to build a belief because whatever is backed up behind that brand name, whether it be the best clothes on the block, this is the ones that have the real 100% cotton, all of that will instantly kick into play. Once you see the brand name, all that ties to it instantly hits the mind. And then that's when you actually take action as to how happy or content you are with what was given to you. You're looking at it like, oh, okay, cool. Like I could roll with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the idea that Silence is bringing to the table, is that it's still backed up behind belief because we're still dealing with the same pair of jeans. All I did was slap the label on it, you know what I'm saying, on one occasion, and then I took it off in the other. And in most cases, a lot of people, without really looking and touching or anything like that, they'll just take it for what it is, right? So that's the clear idea that the thought of belief is also what's triggered behind money and behind every other thing in this world. Like I said, what I'm giving you is an absolute. It's going to make so much sense if you tune in and you constantly see that again and again. It's not a problem that I'm saying the same things over and over. It's the idea to get you to understand that repetition is key, to make an impression on the subconscious mind, to get you to think properly and get you to think the right way, because right thinking equals right living. All right. In a lot of cases, a lot of people like to practice right living without right thinking. And if you do it backwards, that's the result that you get. You get people that are wild and rambunctious. They're not thinking properly, not knowing that the things that are projected in their physical is coming from their mind. So they out doing their thing or whatever. And then why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? So if y'all at a misunderstanding as to why certain things happen to quote unquote bad people, maybe that'll help you jog some of those thoughts where you like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that old man from around the way didn't really do nothing to nobody, but them boys ran down on him and did X, Y, and Z. Like, how did that happen? Well, in a lot of other cases, a lot of other religions and a lot of other directions that you might turn in, they won't know what the answer is. I'm going to give you the answer, and I've given you the answer this entire show. It's in the mind. All right. How does that old man? Hey, he did no wrong. He did no wrong his whole life. He been chilling. They've been good. How do these bad things fall on good people? And in a lot of cases, religions and situations, people will tell you that's a phenomena. Just do this. Say, I don't know, accept it for what it is, and let's keep moving. Or we could actually learn from it based on the direction that I'm trying to take you in. I'm telling you that it's coming from the mind. So these phenomena that are being projected and seen, the cause to it, don't tell me that the cause is out there. Or then if you tell me the cause and reason to your phenomena, your miraculous thing taking place is due to something out there in the physical, then you've taken the power out from your mind and put it into that. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to take the mind power that you could control and utilize, get anything you want, want to have, and take it and put it in something else and say, oh, I can't have that because that thing over there, that thing. And putting it into that makes that your idol God, makes that control you. And once you take control over your mind, you will take control over that. Because my mind controls things. Things don't control my mind, right? It's a simple concept. Once you start hearing it again and again, it'll help you to gauge what's necessary subconsciously and bring it to your attention. Now, we talk a lot about this belief. We talk a lot about how to drum up these things, right? Everything I'm saying is making sense. If you're not understanding, please feel free to drop a question. But we drop in all of this, but we got to get y'all to understand that it does require some practice. And it's not as easy as you think. It's not just, yo, believe, man, just believe. That belief comes in from something that I'm not going to put the wrong thing on your mind and tell you that something is difficult. I'll never say something is difficult. You never say anything is difficult. Don't say that. Don't say anything you can't do. Don't say anything is hard. Don't say anything is difficult, because whatever you tell yourself something is, that's what it will be. It will be difficult if you tell yourself it's difficult. If you tell yourself it's easy, your approach starts to change. One, it slowly becomes easier because you'll mentally, subconsciously tell yourself that. And slowly, you'll start to tackle it a different way, because anything is easy is taken as, man, whatever, this is easy. Come on, I got this. But things that are difficult, you start to scrutinize it, look at it 2 and 3 different ways. Yo, and that's difficult. That man down the street told me this obstacle was going to be difficult. So I need to look at it from all the different directions. Don't listen to the man down the street. Focus on what is easy and focus on what your mind can do, because your mind can make it easy if you make it that way. And if you tell yourself that's what it is. All right. So it's really to get you to understand that building to this point is actually getting you to understand that if you can tap into your 5 senses subconsciously. I made this joke on Hood Conservative Show. Can you smell a pizza in your subconscious? Can you see a pizza in your subconscious? Can you feel a pizza in your subconscious? Can you taste a pizza in your subconscious? This is how real you want to make things become with your 5 senses. And if you activate them with your 5 senses, you'll find that these things will materialize. Now, if you tap into your 5 senses, does a magical pizza just pop up? No, I mean, don't be stupid. You don't turn bread to stone. All right. You don't turn stone to bread. It goes both ways. You got to respect the laws and the ideas that are actually in the world, the way that things actually work. The law by which things operate, you have to respect that. And with that being said, you don't ask for something and expect it. Like, I want to turn my little son's Nintendo Switch to a PS5. Come on, you don't ask for those type of things because it's not real. It's not like a scientifically real thing. What you're drumming up in your mind is something that you're going to project and eventually expect and have. Just like I told you about that person getting on the boat, sailing off to another country. After he takes off, he says, all right, this is where I'm going. I'm going to Australia. And he knows what Australia looks like. He keeps that in his mind. And when he's on that water, he doesn't see Australia. He's on the water. He doesn't see Australia. He's over there. He's chilling. And it's rocky, but everything's easy. He might be going through some stuff. We're going to call them challenges. We're not going to call them problems. We don't have problems. We engage in challenges that we always overcome through the mind. So this guy's on the boat and he's riding through his challenges are hitting him here and there. And he's paving the way with his mind. But at the end of the tunnel, 4 days in, 5 hours in, 40 minutes in, 5 minutes in, 30 seconds, whatever that time frame is, you eventually get to the destiny. Whatever you manifested or put into your mind originally is the point that you'll get to only if you believe. If you can see that other country, feel that other country, smell the air in that other country, yeah, I know what it smells like. I've never been to Australia, but I know what the air smells like. You know why? Because I could imagine it. It's fresh. It's good. I smell it. I feel it. So at the end of the day, the way that I'm putting it into my mind, the way that I'm making the impression on my subconscious through those 5 senses is what will make it become real to me. Making it become real to me is building my belief. Building my belief is what helps it to materialize. Isn't that all what we want? I'm just trying to help y'all to think for yourself. Y'all want to go to Australia? Yo, look, just put that plan into action and call me from Australia when all the joint go down, because don't ask me how. Don't ask me the HOW. You never question the Father's business. Don't ask how these things happen. You put them in the mind. You wait at the end of the tunnel and I see you there. Simple stuff. Silence, you got anything you want to add? It's getting to that hour, so I'm going to get ready to close out.
Nah, you said a mouthful. I think that you pretty much summed up a lot of the whole idea involving thoughts becoming things, and not just things in the physical, but just experiences as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because touch on that.
That's definitely something that I feel applies directly to where I come from as conservative guy. I'm coming from where I was highly opinionated about other people, what they were doing and how they were doing it, and things that were happening to me. I mean, whatever came in my direction, I would never take the responsibility upon myself. I was quicker to point everything in the other direction, whether it be liberals' direction. Sometimes people want to point for racial reasons, you know, whether it be black, white. There's a lot of, and that's why I boil it down to political, because there's a lot of areas where people start pointing fingers, whether it be red team pointing at blue, blue team pointing at red. At the end of the day, whatever you receive is what was originally in your mind. The one thing that I could tell you that is 100% fact, that whatever I see you going through, whatever I see happening in your life, that was originally in your mind. I don't care what you tell me. I gave y'all the example and the bomb, I think it was yesterday. If you out there and you listening to a song, right? Somebody might say, no, I didn't put that in my mind. Somebody came up and robbed me the other day. I didn't put that in my mind. Okay, cool. I need you to understand that when you was walking by, when you was shopping, right? You was shopping and they had the Britney Spears playing in the background, the baby, whatever they, you know what I'm saying, her new joint, whatever the new pop artist is. What you will find out is, regardless if you like that song or didn't like that song, what you start to notice is that you could skate out. And if you heard that song enough, if you heard it like last week, and then you heard it like in the radio, and then you heard it like over here somewhere, and now you're hearing it in the grocery store, it's now starting to make an impression on your subconscious. And what you start to notice is like, man, damn, what the hell is that song doing in my head? What is that song doing in my head? Don't you find people coming to that conclusion in a lot of cases, and they don't know or understand why that is the case? But I need them to understand that that's how things make an impression on the subconscious. It's going to happen whether you take it in or whether you don't. So when things start to happen to you and you start to wonder, oh, why is this happening to me? Well, that's something that has made an impression on your subconscious, maybe outside of your wanting. You didn't want that to happen. You just went to your boy's crib. He was watching First 48. You saw a bunch of dudes get robbed on there, but you didn't watch the whole episode. You know what I'm saying? You didn't watch the whole episode. You just watched that part. That was enough to make the impression on your subconscious. And if you believe, damn, that gas station looked like the one around my way, that spot looked like they got the same amount of security as my spot, am I bound to get robbed too? Because that man got robbed. Remember, you never utilize another man's statistics to tell the direction that your mind could take you in. Never utilize another man's statistics I lost it. Never utilize another man's statistics when your mind can take you in a direction you want it to go in. Do I look at another man and say, well, damn, he got hit up. Damn, he got hit up. I told you I used to sell trees around the way. I never looked at another man, how many times he got locked up. I never took none of that into consideration. My belief and thought in mind when I was running the streets is that I don't got nothing to worry about. I'm good. I'm Gucci. My belief was real high. Now, my belief might have been backed up by physical things such as, do I have my license? Yeah, I got my license. Do I have my necessary paperwork? Yeah, I got the paperwork. Do I have, was I speeding? No, I didn't speed. So my belief was built on some of the physical things, but originally the belief will start and end in the mind. It's the things in between that you can pick up for some added help in addition to what you're trying to accomplish, as far as you feeling more successful about getting to your goal. So you building a better belief in anything could stem from some physical things, but ideally you never want to rely on a physical thing, because careful for that to become an idol god to you, for that to be something that you always need. Oh, I don't have my lucky, I didn't win that game because I didn't have my lucky hat. You know that guy? He didn't win the game because he didn't have his lucky hat. I'll give it to you, man. You didn't have your lucky hat, so you didn't win the game. And that's the idea in mind, is that the destiny is never to be seen in a physical thing. It's to be seen and understood that the mind takes you to that endpoint. So if you feel and think your little screw foot that you carry around, or your little 4-leaf clover is what was gonna get you to that next point, that's not gonna cut it. It's actually going to be based on your mind. So again, before we close out, the idea is to understand that as people are griping and crying about things that are happening to them or happening in the world, and they are feeling some type of way about it, that's all what they have brought in to their mind, and that's why they're projecting it into their physical. Now, that's something that we talked about earlier that can happen as as a whole. If everyone projects something in their mind and the belief system is high enough, then the people will receive what they're manifesting. That's why people pray. That's why you pray. Because if we share ideas that we want something, if we were to share those same ideas and our mindset is on the same and healing this man, I'm trying to heal the man. The guy over there trying to heal the man. We all putting our mind power to it, trying to heal something. When you put the people together, that does increase the power of belief because everybody's thinking along the same lines. That's where you will see the result that you see, whether it be positive or negative. So keep in mind, you might feel like, well, I'm the one and only man out here. What do you mean this thing that's happening to everybody else in the world is part of my manifestation? That's exactly it. That things that are occurring in the world that a lot of people are griping about, the reason why they're occurring and taking place is because people aren't in full belief that it's not going to happen or it won't happen. The actual thought in mind is they don't have enough belief. I'm sorry, maybe I said that the wrong way. So their belief is so low that the things that they expect to happen don't happen, such as your boy in office right now, right? The facts showed he wasn't supposed to be there, but he's there. That's the whole thing. And I told everybody in Hoodie Stream, it ends up being boiled based on belief because the facts displayed one thing. I felt a certain way. Y'all know how I felt. Y'all know how everybody felt. We all wanted a certain something, but we got a different result. We couldn't explain the phenomena. It was a phenomena. To see him come into office like that, we said, how? Let's check the numbers. Let's check this. Let's check this. Let's see how is this possible? But it ended up being a case where, was it the fault of the people where they relied so much into the physical things? They relied so much into physical numbers. They didn't have the numbers. They didn't have no numbers on us. We had all the numbers. But I tell you one thing, between a liberal and a conservative, when you're dealing with belief, you start to deal greatly in the area of feelings. When you deal with liberals, they revolve a lot around feelings. A lot of people will ask, why do liberals get a lot of what they want to get? Like, you're like, damn, like, how did he plow through this, that, and the third? They're getting this, they're getting benefits. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People getting benefits, extra checks, this, that, and the third. How is this stuff happening? Why is this stuff happening? And you're like, man, I'm on the red team. We righteous. We following God. We trying to get to that next point. And we know that, like, in our own opinion, that we know that the money is supposed to come like our way. And like, what's really going on here? Like, what is the reason why we find that the blue team starts to roll and they seem to constantly get what they want? What is behind them constantly getting what they want? With all the bad, who does all the bad stuff? Who gets caught up the most? Every time I look around, the blue team, DUI, blue team, sexual child offense, blue team, they caught up somewhere, blue team. You know what I'm saying? Every time I look up, blue team got issues. Why does blue team get blessings? They got checks for them people out in Cali. They not even supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Why they getting that? Can anybody explain to me why they getting that? I know why. I know why they're getting it. Because again, something that I stress when you're dealing with liberals and you're dealing with conservatives, liberals revolve a lot around feelings, and feelings get the blessing. Feelings get the blessing. All right. I'm gonna dive into it real fast just so we could close off with something positive. And at the end of the day, I need you to understand that regardless of the righteous man who goes to church every day, if he's not thinking the right things and taking in the right things, he's not going to see the outcome he projects. If you have that guy who's up to no good, following through with a lot of bad things, and he feels some type of way about a situation, and he can imagine it and he can envision it and utilize his mind to get it, he's going to get it. I'm sorry, but he's going to get it. It's the same reason why there's killers, robbers, stabbers, this, that, and the third. People that are out right now that have done many bad things, but they are well off, very successful, hot wives, big houses, nice cars, this, that, and the third. And a lot of people will go, I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to like look the other way because I can't really explain that, or I don't know why that's happening. And that is going to be the case, is that feeling gets the blessing. Those who can feel what they want will lead it into belief and get what they want. Regardless of the bad or good that you try to claim another man is up to, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have old righteous man in the hood who goes to church every single Sunday, but walks them blocks, but ends up getting who knows what happening to him. But that's all because of what's in his mind. It's not because of this particular life that he's portraying. Now, what you'll find out is if you install the right things in your mind, you end up portraying a good life and you follow through with a lot of what's known to be positive. And that's because that's the outcome that you want to project. So the idea works hand in hand. It's at the end of the day for you to understand that whatever goes into the mind is what comes out. Feeling gets the blessing. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, regardless of the rap sheet, regardless of the situation, the physical, the circumstances, y'all like to throw circumstances in the way, physical in the way, y'all like to throw causes in the way. I couldn't do this cause, this, da, 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 da. At the end of the day, feelings get the blessing. And those who are focusing on their mind and making sure that they tap into those five senses, see it, feel it, touch it, and hear it subconsciously, are those who will receive the benefits that they're projecting in their mind, whether it be good or bad. Silence, you got anything to leave off with? I got like 5 minutes. Silence, you there?
No, yeah, no, I'm still here. I think, yeah, no, that's an important part of this is just standing that.
I think you closed out. I think I don't know what happened to his reception. I gotta keep it moving though. So listen, I got a few people in the building still rocking with me. What we gonna do, I told y'all on the last stream, we did it where we said how we gonna make thoughts become things. Check this video out from the beginning. You'll see how it slowly leads into what I'm talking about now. What I'm leaving you off with now, where feelings get the blessing, is the direction that we're gonna go in the next show. All right. So we're gonna talk about what that means, what it involves. We'll tie it into different examples. We'll go on and on and on and on to show you that feelings get the blessing. It's not going to be statistics. It's not going to be circumstances. It's not going to be the physical things that you think like, oh, I got there because of this. Or I got there because of my fast car. I did this because of my whatever you want to put in the blank. It starts from the mind, because at the end of the day, you're moving with God. God is one. God is the one and only. That's the force that gets you to any and every direction that you want. All right. Y'all use that I amness. You get into any tight situations. Anytime you feel weak, like the mystics say, let the weak say, I am strong. If you feel sick, let the weak say, I am strong. All right. If you out of money, I am rich. Continuously follow through with your necessary affirmations to build your belief and motivation behind what you want to project and see. I'm seeing everything that I'm saying. I wouldn't rock with y'all if this thing wasn't making sense to me. All right. Funds and all that. I don't care about the funds with in the sense of, if my mind can project funds coming back to me, why would it be hung up on something that I was getting a little something with the YouTube thing, but I wasn't really delivering what I would consider to be something that's helping to change the people. I'm trying to help change the people, put it into y'all to get y'all to understand it all comes from the mind first. All right. Your economy is right here. You lose your job, you didn't lose your source of income, because your source of income's right here. All right. Anything else going on in your life that you see and know and understand is coming from here. I'm gonna get off this one. I want to thank y'all for rocking with me. Go ahead and leave that like if y'all feel like y'all been informed. This is a lot of heavy knowledge. It's to take you from that next level to the next. Y'all gonna see, man. Y'all know what it is. Keep rocking with your boy, CG. Y'all know I'm out.